What is Seedlink?
Seedlink, we provide a technological platform that is out here to eliminate human bias from our everyday decision making. Now we are focused in HR because this is where we think has a lot of opportunities, there are a lot of issues for us to solve. But we're focused in HR where we first started out by um, using technology to interview, to assess if a candidate has the right competency and culture fit for a specific position in the company, right? And that is how we started off. But fundamentally, what our technology does is to predict human behavior through their language, through what they say, through how they say it, through the pitch, their voice, and through their hand gestures, which is now in research for us. Instead of through criteria like what university they went to, or what degree they studied, or what GPA they got, or if they had this internship experience or that. When we know these are all variables that has very low predictive value in terms of whether a candidate or an employee fits a certain position or not.
So, I'm a company and I want to use Seedlink. Where do we start?
So we first start by with Seedlink studying, your company. So I can give you an example. If say you like to hire for sales associates, okay? Now what Seedlink would first do is we would need to first understand what leads to success as a sales associate in your company. Because being a sales associate in an FMCG company versus a car dealership is completely different. So we need to first study what leads to success in your organization for that position. And so how we do that is we first collect language data. We understand how each and every one of your sales associate speak, express themselves, think, and we would usually interview about 50 people. We combine this with what we call labels. In machine learning, we call labels. And labels are things like their sales performance figures, right? Their competency scores. There are 360 reviews, their peer reviews. So we combine both their language, their inputs, and the labels, their performance scores, competency scores, to create a predictive model. Now you can imagine of this predictive model as almost like an ideal candidate. This model now knows what is ideal and what is not ideal to be a top performing sales associate in your organization. And so once after we create this model, we validate it, right? So there will be outliers in every organization. We validate it with your hiring manager, with HR on like, hey, is this sales associate really a high performer? Because you said it is, but based on our analysis, it's not, right? So maybe this person could be a genius. Well, we need to tell the machine that. And so through this entire process of creating a model, validation, we now have a model that can be used infinitely, right? That could also learn. So when you have new candidates applying to the job, the machine can assess if this person fits your model, right? And what we do as well, what the main value here is the machine learning part as well, is that the machine can learn in the future if this person turned out to be an even better performer or not so good performer. You simply just log it back to the system, and the system just gets smarter and smarter. And this entire process will take about 4 to 6 weeks.
What kind of companies are using it? Because when you have to interview 50 people with the same job, are it all juniors, or can it be juniors and seniors, or?
So we started out so right now I mentioned 50, right? But we actually started out with 300,
Okay.
right? So back then it was just junior and like really big companies. But because as we've learned, as our machine gets smarter and smarter, we now can actually reduce the sample size. So we're now at 50, which would usually mean mid to big size, enterprise size companies. But there is a potential of us shrinking. But we've done everything from college to mid-level as well, and also some very high-level, senior-level positions.
And what kind of sectors Seedlink is used?
I think we're now in about like 6 to 10 different sectors. But fundamentally, this can be applied into pretty much every sector, because what we're doing isn't specific to one sector, because what we're doing, like I say, we create a predictive model, right? That's specific to your company, your position. So it does. We are not creating a general model, a general assessment tool, a general assessment test that you can give to everybody, every company, every sector, right? This is very specific to your company. So in that sense, we can actually do it for any sector.
There are more similar solutions. So what is so unique about Seedlink?
So I mean, we all know that 20 years ago we have assessment tools that would have you answer 200 multiple choice questions, right? That would take 2 hours. Now there are tools that use games. There are tools that use different, inputs, right, into the system itself. Now the reason why we chose language is because language is subconsciously produced in our heads, right? Especially how we say things, and that is a very good predictor of personality and behavioral traits. And so we think that soft skills are the most, right? If a very important trait, if not the most important trait, in terms of being successful in a role, in a job. So that's why we chose to use language to assess if somebody actually has the right culture fit with a certain position in a certain company, in a certain sector.
What are your plans for 2018?
I think for us, we started out in Shanghai and then we're now in Amsterdam. We were in Amsterdam last year. This year for us, the big thing is to enter the US market. So we'll be having our launch event in New York City in June. And the whole reason of us going there is because, frankly speaking, is because our clients want us there. It is the biggest market in the world. And one really spectacular thing that actually came out of our system, which we were very happy about, is that one of our first clients, when they started using our product, our service, what they found was 1/3 of the candidates that they end up hiring came from backgrounds that they would have never thought of in their CV screening, right? Because we are all biased and it's probably a survival thing in us, right? We like to associate things this with that, and we look at very simple criteria like gender, race, religion, skin color, height, right? But we know for sure that the human potential is beyond these criteria, right? And so that's why it's very important for us to enter the US, because it's a big market, but it's also a strong need in the world, and that's why we're heading.
Thanks.